Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Today I had a buddy come over and we hooked up a propane stove in the kitchen. So that just brings us more to being self-sufficient. If you don't have to worry about the electricity, propane, you can store propane. And you can store a lot of propane because it's the best fuel to store because you don't have to really worry about it going bad. You got to make sure your tank doesn't get damaged or it leaks out. But if you have multiple tanks, even the 100-pounders, the 30-pounder RV kind, you can go a long time, years, because the stove and the cooktop on top does not use a lot of propane compared to, you know, a dryer, compared to a heater. So it's good use. So we did that, so I feel like I did accomplish something, and it was only accomplished because I have a good buddy. And getting to good buddies, do you have buddies that if you called them or they called you and you told them, hey, we got to bury a body, that they wouldn't say nothing on the phone? They wouldn't say nothing other than, Roger, you want me to bring my shovel or do you got one for me? That's the kind of friends you better have what we're going into. Friends that will come over no matter what because they know your heart, they know you, and they're going to be there when the chips are down. And I have some of those friends. And that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for Facebook friends. Facebook friends are not real friends. Trust me, 99% of the people that you say, oh, I got 547 friends on Facebook, you might have 5 friends on Facebook. So work on not Facebook friends, but real friends. In the military, we were able to displace. Sometimes we were given that decision when we could displace, stay as long as possible, accomplish your mission, and then when you need to, because of overwhelming threat or force, you are allowed to displace your next position and leapfrog back. Sometimes you will order, hey, hold that position no matter what, and you would hold it. There is a difference between the military and preppers. In the military, it didn't matter. I'd give up terrain any day. If it accomplished safety for me and people, soldiers, I don't care about the terrain, especially overseas. Who cares? If you're a prepper, for me, I have to make sure it's going to be hard to give up the retreat. The reason is, if there's a catastrophic SHTF event, and I'm here at the compound, and I have to leave, it's probably because there's a threat. So it's going to be hard to get out of here. Also, if I have to leave, where am I going to go? Luckily, I have a group of people. I have a community of people. If you don't have your community built already, you are so far behind the 8 ball, it's not even funny. You got to have a community. You got to have friends. You got to have a backup plan. So yes, I have a backup plan. I have multiple backup plans. My problem would be, what friend do I not want to offend? Because if they find out if I displaced here and went to Joe's house, Mike might be mad and say, what the heck, man? You could have come to my house. That's the problem you want to have. But in reality, you might not be able to displace, especially using the roads. If you can't use the roads and all you get is a backpack, life is going to be miserable. So, how to solve that problem? So I don't have to leave, because I don't want to leave. And my leaving now would be different than in the military. In the military, you don't have to worry about your food, your water, your shelter. You're going to get all kinds of ammo drops. You're going to get all supply drops you need, man. You just get on that radio, and they will drop them to you. They'll drop them from a helicopter. They don't even have to land. They kick them out. But as a prepper, you're not going to have that option. So what you have now is your life. It's to sustain you. Some places you might be where you have to leave your house. Where are you going to go? You might be surrounded by people that are going to be hostile to you. First, they're just hostile. Secondly, they might be hostile because you're walking through their area. And they're going to think you as a threat. And rightfully so. So you might not have that option to just pick up and move, especially if you can't use the roads. You're going to be crossing a lot of people's property. So, my philosophy is I'm going to stay here. And I'm working with all of these other people, all these other preppers in the area. And to me, you got to be in my area. You can't be 5, 6, 7, 8 miles down the road. 5 miles I can get to you. If we control the area as a community of people, of preppers and non-preppers and just good country folks out here, and that's the thing. If you're in the city, it's going to be hard to do that because there's just too many people to know. Out in the country, there's a lot less people. You have an opportunity to meet and know more people. So I have to make sure my community is strong. So that's going to mean I might have to make sacrifices now. I do. I spend a lot of time helping people. And vice versa. My buddy came over and helped me today. Huge task accomplished. So you have to be willing to help your community. If you're like saying, I don't even have a community, you have to get a community. First of all, get a couple prepper friends in your area. You got to work at that. It means sacrifice. It means putting yourself out there. It means helping someone else, knowing that they might not pay you back. But that way you know what that kind of person is. Hopefully you help that person and then realize, hey, man, I can go help this guy in his project, and vice versa. And you develop that friendship. So you got to have a community, because I can't just pull out. If I pull out now, where am I going to go? Yes, I have multiple places. I got even family members close by I can go to. But everything I have here will be gone. I understand that. I'm not going to trade my family's life for what's here, but what's here is my family's life. Because if there's no stores, if there's no money, my supplies are my life. That's why you have to have friends good enough. I told my friend today that came over here, he's welcome here. SHTF, Crap Hits the Fan, he has a nice little place. And I do want him to stay there because it's his place. He's put a lot of blood and sweat into it, and he's developing it. But I told him, if you come here, one thing you got to bring. We're about the same size. He might be a little taller, but he wears a 12 size boot. And I said, you better bring every pair of boots you got, because when you come here, I don't have any boots for you. We'll have to use my 10s. I think my son's 10 and a half, so we'll have to cut the toes out for you. I would provide everything he needed. Why? Because survival is people. It's not just food. It's not weapons. It's not supplies. It is bodies. It is that person's ability to do work here, that person's ability to have his mind and everything he's learned. So I'm willing to put more food back here, knowing that some people in the community and some people are on the outskirts of the community that live a little bit further away might not have the security they need, and they have to come somewhere. I would rather spend $500 on extra food and have some gear put back, so when they walk up to my gate and say, man, Dave, I got out of there, but all I got is what's in my rucksack, I can say, hey, brother, sister, no problem. Come on in. Yes, it might mean my resources are going to be drawn down quicker, but what does that guy or gal bring this head? I know some of these people that come are extremely good farmers. So you know what I could do? I could take a load off my back by saying, all right, you lost all your seed and all your equipment, but guess what? Here's my seed. There's a couple rototillers. There's all kinds of hand tools. There's garden spots there. You take in charge of the garden, and let's get everything we can put into the ground. So yes, I'm going to have to feed him for a period of time. I understand that. It's sort of like in the military, if you've never been there. Loaded magazines and ammunition, you might have all your mags here, but guess what? Your buddy hollers he's running low. You better not even think twice about grabbing a couple mags out of your thing and throwing them to him. That's how it has to be in the prepping world. It's people, it's people, it's people, it's community. So, if you are blessed to have a little bit of extra money, put some extra food back for the purpose of helping people. But also it's going to help you, because if you can take in a couple that has some skills, your chances of surviving is going up exponentially with more people. And I'm talking good people, not people that are going to be lazy. Because guess what? If I walked into any of my buddies' retreats and I had my wife with me and maybe my son and daughter-in-law and the little guys, I would work my collective rear end off. I would work harder than the property owner. I would never want him to doubt what he did when he opened the gate and said, "Welcome, Dave, come on in. Let's find a place where I don't care if he puts me in his barn, pitch a tent in the hayloft. I'm going to work my butt off for him." And you know what? The friends I have around me probably would do the same thing. If they had to come to my location, they would be grateful and they would work their rear end off just because they're thankful they have a place to go. I hope you're getting out of this is it's people, it's community. Yes, it is supplies. It is things. But without the people, you're not going to be able to secure your location. That's why I would be willing to take a couple more families and if they could provide for themselves. And I've never told you how many people I'm going to have here because that's an offset. I'm never going to say that. How many able-bodied finger pullers I'm going to have. But the more the better. If you can feed them, if you can take care of them, that brain, the information that's being brought in is huge. All those different people with their different skills is huge. It's worth a lot more to me than $500 worth of canned goods. I've rambled. You better be working on friends. You better be working on community. You better be working on bringing people into your place, even if they can't afford to put everything they need back, but they're working their butts off trying to put food back, trying to put ammo back, trying to buy some firearms and some supplies. Be willing to know their deficiencies and put a little bit more back. It's going to help you and guarantee you it's going to help them. And it's about helping each other, what's coming down the road. You're not going to make it if you're like, screw people, man. They don't help me. I ain't helping them. You're not going to last long. You're going to be eaten up by the marauders and the hordes. Thanks for watching.